The issue of internet or net neutrality will be one of the major issues on the agenda for this year's annual conference of the Organization of Utility Regulators in Jamaica from October 26 to 28. Net neutrality is the principle that all online services should be treated the same. But Executive Director of the organization, David Geddes, said structural issues involving regional regulators and their approach to net regulation will not be resolved at the conference.
Because of how the region's regulators are structured, it's very hard to say. One regulator in Jamaica, for instance, may make a decision and say, well, you cannot ban any aspect of the internet. You must be allowed to use any platform and go anywhere you want to go on the internet. That's one thinking. Another regulator in, say, Trinidad may have a different view or may not have the authority to tell the telecoms company that they must have net neutrality. And remember that each regulator, before they make a decision and issue that decision, it is mandatory in every jurisdiction, as far as I know, that you must consult. And that consultation period can be a bit extended sometimes because you have to deal with the utility, you have to deal with consumers, you have to deal with all stakeholders. And within that, once you get comments, you also have to allow time for persons to comment on those comments. So, you can be running into a 3-month period of consultation and then before even issuing a decision. And that is if you have the authority.
Mr. Geddes says there needs to be a modernization of telecommunications legislation throughout the region.
Telecoms is a competitive industry to a certain extent, unlike water and electricity. So usually the market can force changes, but sometimes the regulator, in order to ensure that consumers benefit from the best of what's available in the marketplace, may need to step in. Now, not in all instances is the law very clear on how the regulator steps in and what they can do. If you remember, maybe about 10 years ago, the OUR here in Jamaica took the Minister of Telecommunications, Philip Paulwell, to court about a directive that he issued to the OUR, and they felt that he had overstepped his bounds. So always there will be gray areas. That's the nature of law. And how you interpret regulations which are derived from law also, opens up a whole lot of different issues. So therefore, essentially, it's always good to review what legislation you have and to ensure that you are not holding back the regulator.